Hi, welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, and this is the Sunday segment where I talk about wellness. And we're gonna talk about insulin again. We're gonna repeat things as much as necessary. I do take you guys' questions, and I decide to answer them on the show. I do realize that a lot of people learn differently. So, as many times as needed to be repeated, we will do. And understand once you can get a visualization in your head on something that may be complex to you, for most of you, it might not be. Just it's going to give you a better understanding. And when you know better, you do better. But let's turn to. Welcome back. Y'all see I got a new background. Trying to keep in with the theme. I was trying to bring up my the phones because as always, I love participation. You guys are more than welcome to call in, speak your mind, ask some questions, and or make some statements, your testimonies. I always give people that option, but you are more than welcome to come in at your own leisure. Um, Macadocious Mac of the South is in the building. Salute the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen Miss T. Salute to you too, King. As I said in the opening, first water check. I don't have my fresh bottle, but I'm up to 7 bottles at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's a good thing because hopefully by I can drink more than three by 7:30. The goal at Boxer Fans Talk TV is to drink 100 ounces. Even though we know a gallon is preferable, and a gallon is 128 ounces, but we like to start off with shoot for something we realistically can do. Most of you drink about, I don't know, 60 ounces on average, maybe 50. I know some people drink like 30 something ounces a day, but we really need to drink way more than that. We got to get our water up. And that's why you will always hear me say water check, because it's important, it's integral for you to drink your water. I did have questions about what water does. I think we all know what it does. But if somebody send an email, I will answer any basic question. And to those of you who think this is too redundant, bear with us because there's some people who might just don't know. So, as I told you, at night when you go to sleep, everybody, and it's important that you get the real sleep, like the 4 phases of sleep, the 4 realms of sleep, whatever they call it. It's important that you sleep like that. Cat naps don't count. So they count in your head and you're like, oh, I needed that nap. I got 3, 4 more hours to work, or I got to drive on this highway. I just need about 30 minutes, pull over somewhere and this, that, and that. So they help, I guess, in that way. So we think. But I'm talking about real sleep. And when you go to sleep, a lot of things are going on in your body. In fact, it is the one time you burn the most calories at night is when you sleep. I say at night, I do realize that some people have a different alternate schedule where they work at night or they up at night, and sleep during the day. But whenever you get that deep, real sleep, and if you have studied the different phases of sleep, it's not as deep as you think, but deep for a mammal, the deep sleep, the different phases. As long as you experience all four and then you repeat itself, um, you're gonna get or have everything that need to be done while you sleep done. So, for instance, burning the calories, you can burn damn near 1,000 calories just in a night's sleep. Where else you can do that? Think about it. When you go to the gym and you work out a good workout, like an hour or so long, like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe people work out an hour and 30 minutes. Technically, the prevailing wisdom is that you only need 45 minutes um, to work out in a session. Like when you do go work out, not an hour, not two, not three, unless you're trying to be a superior athlete. And I'm talking about the everyday person, 3 to 4 times a week, 45 minutes each time. So when you work out, like I say, even if you do 2 hours, you're gonna burn about I'm gonna say between 3 and 400 calories. That's it. And I mean, you gonna work out where you sweating all in between your legs, that good sweat. Like, sweat is not a indicator of losing weight or burning calories, just so you know. It's what your body does to it's a reaction to your body trying to cool itself down. That's all it is. Demetrius Bright is in the building. Was popping, King. Demetrius, I said I drank what did I say? Six, I think 6 bottles. So no, 7. And so I got 3 more to go. Well, no, hold on. 10 is 80. I got a few more to go, but I think I can get to 100 today. I don't always make it to 100 ounces every day, just so y'all know. So if y'all are not making it, that's not a reason to stop trying to drink a lot of water. If you're coming in, smash the like button when you come on in. Come on in and smash that like button for me. It matters. Trust me. That's all I ask. And that's for free. You said 57 ounces of water. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, if you don't make the 100, you just keep doing it every day. Don't stop and say later for this. I can't drink that much water. And the beauty about my program is I don't take away your hottie toddy, your little nightcap that you have, or your coffee or whatever. It might be, I might take away the coffee in the morning because that's a morning routine for a lot of people. But get all in that you're supposed to get in. And after that, if you got room, by all means, have at it. But getting back to this burning of the calories, right? So when you sleep, your your you burn approximately about 1,000 calories as you sleep. And you need to burn that much. It's a good thing that you burn that much. And then when you wake up in the morning, let's say you didn't have a job, all you did was get up, sit on the couch all day, look at TV, and the only time you get up is go to the bathroom or go fix you something to eat in the kitchen. Guess what? By the end of that day, when you're ready to go back to sleep, you would have burnt approximately 1,500 more calories doing nothing. So then when you add on the fact that you're getting up, you're going to work, you're taking kids to school, you're running behind them, you're running errands, you're going shopping, all the stuff you could do in the course of a day. You're at work, you're moving around. In the end, in one 24-hour period, you would have burned approximately, give or take, everybody different, 3,000 calories. Now, what did they say it takes to drop a pound of fat? They say 3,600 calories. So you see where I'm going with this. Now chart out a week's time, which is 7 days. 3,000 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3,000 times 7 is what? I don't have it in my head. 21,000, something like that. Okay. 21,000 divided by 3,600. Basically 7. The answer was 7. So let me see. Let me just actually do it. 6 or 7. Between 5 or 7, I'm going to say. I got my calculator. Y'all probably got it before I did. Ooh, 21,000 divided by 3,600. About 6 pounds on average. And that's what you can lose going to sleep, getting up, and doing nothing every day. Like every day of the week. Every week that go past, you could potentially lose 6 pounds a week. But why don't we? It depends on a lot of things. It depends on what you eat. Not necessarily how much you eat, but what you eat. Because if you're eating the wrong foods, you can eat a sensible amount of that and still be gaining weight. You throw your whole body's imbalance off. If you're eating the right food, you can eat enough for 2 or 3 people and you ain't gonna really gain no weight. So it all depends on your activity and what you eat. Now we do know that if you did more than just the average routine, 3 to 4 days a week, 45 minutes each session of exercise, you only need 45 minutes. You don't need 2 hours, an hour and a half. You don't need all that. You just need some simple basic, you know what I'm saying? Um, if you did that and you amped that up to 7 days a week, 2 hours each session, you know that you will burn more. You know what I'm saying? So it'll look like you're dropping. But you want to do something that's life sustaining. In my program, that's what I advocate. It's not a shortcut, it's life sustaining. So if you're gonna go that route, make sure that's something you can do. That is preferably for people who are very young. The younger you are, your body can withhold that, kind of pressure and tension. Um, Youth is a hot commodity. It's not, it's a priceless commodity. But when you get a little older, like some of us in here, it's not sustaining, is it? Ain't nothing I want to do on the regular. I don't want to go in there like I'm trying to make it to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So we have to figure out something else. Um, when I talked about exercise, I did a show on exercise, and I was telling you like the top 3 best exercises which were walking, dancing, and swimming. And a lot of people like, what about running? No, it's not the best. Not in my eyes. Not from what I read. Because if you walk, you know how many hours is it in a day? It's 24 hours, right? If you walk, let's say at a routine every night, you walk from at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you walk 2 or 3 miles every day. Let's say that you did that. By the time you come back around the next afternoon at 5 o'clock, guess what? You are still burning calories from when you walked the previous day. But when you run, you can burn just as many calories in one running, but as soon as you stop, you pretty much stop burning calories. I rather walk. It's better on your knees, your feet, and everything. Especially when you get older, it's the preferred method. Swimming. Swimming is like weightlifting, dancing, walking, all that shit ran into one. It's also like running. In swimming, you pretty much use all your muscles in your body. You pretty much do. You could get cut up. It's like weightlifting. Like I said, weightlifting, running, dancing, all rolled up into one. It's just a great exercise. It's also good on your knees and your shoulders and your joints. and it'll get you in shape real good. It'll tighten up that skin. And I'm telling you, it does wonders. Some people have a hard time with swimming, like me. My ears don't like going underwater, period. So swimming is not much for me. I know. I tell y'all, I'm retired Navy, and I did what I had to do. Do I like it? No. Am I always sick after going to a pool? 60% of the time after I come from a pool, I can get sick because the water get in my ears and all that. And that's all she wrote. So I'm not the one for swimming. Do I know how to swim? Yes, I do know how to swim. I know how to do a lot of stuff water, but not for me. Not on the regular. Plus, pools with chlorine and all that, they don't like my skin neither. Chlorine, bromine, and all that kind of crap that you'll find in swimming pools and drinking water, oddly enough. But it don't like me either. So I do better with saltwater pools or the beach, but then you gotta worry about the sharks, my scary ass. I'm scared of the sharks and everything. So water sports. I just drink water. That's it. And then dancing. Oh, how I love dancing. Dancing, you can, if you do a good little dance, I ain't say you got to be MC Hammer or Michael Jackson on the dance floor. But if you do a good little, jig or, cut a rug a little bit, not nothing real slow, like none of that shit, like really move and get into it. You looking at about 900 to 1,000 calories burned per hour, and you're having fun, and you're being sociable. So that means you're socializing, you're meeting people, or you're hanging with friends. It's a good time all around. You don't even know you're working or working out because it's all fun, right? So dancing is another good one. Welcome to the building, everybody. My Facebook, come on in. Come on in to the YouTube channel. We're not going to be long today. I'm going to try my best. But I always say everything I got to say. But I'm going to try my best because we know it's what? Football season. And I'm not fucking with y'all football if I can help it. Then it's going to be basketball. March Madness coming up. It's all to the good. America's favorite pastime. I be itching one. So that's what I had to say about. I know that started from water into the exercise, but it's important that you know that function. You know what your body's doing when it's sleeping. It is recharging, is rejuvenating, like you're creating abundance of cells. Cells are necessary to carry, it's life sustaining. It's important for your organs. Cells are found in blood. We talking about red blood cells. They're the vitamins and nutrients per se, because nutrients consist of vitamins and minerals. And most vitamins, believe it or not, are really just hormones. But I'm not gonna try to change the vernacular. But like for instance, vitamin D is a hormone. It's not a vitamin. Not like y'all think, but we can keep it the same name or whatever. So the red blood cells are I don't know if you're gonna say the train or the transportation. Um, I don't. Let me see, because I always try to paint a picture. So the veins and the arteries that the blood flow through can be the street, the tube that the train runs through, whatever. So you can kind of look at red blood cells as like a transporter. It's part of a transportation system, because the red blood cells is what's going to take the nutrients all around your body, and what's going to help fuel your body and help the body give energy or take in energy, and then it helps it do the things that it have to do, like recreating. We make a lot of cells all the time, an abundance of them daily. In certain areas of your body, you don't make that many rejuvenated cells or new cells, like your nervous system. That's why when people become paralyzed, it's almost like a permanent thing. We have gotten better medically with that, with paralyzation, but it's almost like a permanent thing because that is an area where you do not create cells in abundance, and they're so far and in between. But then other areas, you create cells by the millions, by the thousands, or whatever. So they carry the fuel that's needed at each stop. Everywhere that blood flow and it goes through your whole body, it's carrying oxygen, it's carrying iron, it's carrying a lot of stuff to help life be sustained in certain pockets of your body, right? So it's important that we give the cells what it needs to carry around to other organs. I mean, if the brain doesn't have its sugar, it'll stop functioning. It'll malfunction. So how we gonna get the brain its sugar? Through the cells, through the blood. How we gonna get it to the blood? Through what we consume, what we eat. And which brings me to some of the topics at hand today. Stuff that people wrote in, and I'm just gonna answer some questions. Anybody want to chime in? I've already put the link in the chat. The phone lines are open, or you could just place a chat in. Anything you want, you can interrupt me. I'll always try to come back to the topic, but I'm here for you guys. So whatever you want to know or whatever you want me to clarify in anything that I've ever said, please do. Because at this point in this show, it's going to be a lot of reiterating until it becomes second nature, because I think it's important to know how the body functions. Before I get off the water thing too, in the morning when you wake up, if you look at your body like an engine, like a car engine, it has to get churning and burning. Well, water is going to help that. Water is a life sustainer. Without it, there is no life. So is the sunshine, and so is salt. Believe it or not, salt in your diet is very important. Now, don't take that and say, yeah, I can throw all this salt on this food. No. And that's probably kind of processed. I don't know if it's processed or whatever, but iodine in your system is important because you can't really make iron without it. You can't make a lot of stuff without it. And if you can't make that, how you gonna make a cell? And if you don't have cells, we just told you what happens. These certain parts of your body is not gonna get the nutrients they need. So water is very important. And it flushes you out what you need, because sometimes stuff can get stuck up in there. That's why it's important that they tell you to have fiber in your diet. I'm not telling you that that's not important, but there's other ways around it. You remember, there's always 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I don't even know why that's a saying, but it's stuck in my lexicon, and I want to think of something else to say, because ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be okay with somebody skinning a cat. I can't. I can't. It's my favorite animal. Yes, I'm a cat person. So, all right. So I'm going to explain insulin spikes. And as I say, I'll try visual explaining, suggesting books, whatever's needed. So look, this is a picture of a wavelength. Okay, you see the dotted line in the middle? That's basically, if you want to look at it like the control level, the base level. So you got the dotted line. I don't know if you can even see my cursor. You got the dotted line in the middle. These are the crests, which are measured in between here. And from here to this height is what we call amplitude. So this is just a regular wave, a wavelength. And this from here is just the amplitude. The amplitude, if you want to make it simpler, height. You see how I just said wavelength right here to here? That's a wavelength because that's a whole cycle. This is the beginning and this is the end. And as you know, it's going to repeat itself, repeat itself, repeat itself. Anything underneath is called the trough. You can't see the word right here. We're good. In fact, let me take this down for a hot second. Media, vibration, direction. Okay. So right here, even though they say all that, that's if you measure it in between here, it's the duration of this wavelength or a pulse. The pulses look like this too. You need to know all this. Wavelength, pulse duration meaning how long is on, like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. This means the height. This top where it says crest and this red line is the height. That's the amplitude. We're gonna call the amplitude the spike. Everywhere we see this red line is a spike. Okay. Underneath, we said that this is the trough and this is the baseline. If we say the baseline is 0, and I'm talking about insulin, I see me scratching my head. I'm talking about insulin. So insulin has what we say insulin was. We said that whenever you eat, everything you eat turns to sugar, right? We said that insulin was a molecule of sugar that the pancreas release when it registers in the body that there's sugar in the body that you ate. Does that make sense? If you eat something, it turns into sugar automatically. And every time that happens, the pancreas has to release a number of molecules, sugar molecules, that is, to accompany the sugar you just ate. It has to go down like that, right? Every time you eat, let's give an example like cheeseburgers. I keep going to that because that's the most notable fast food that we eat as Americans on a grand scale. But like a cheeseburger, a pizza, just anything that's not good for you. Everything it took to make that food that's not good for you is a problem as well. So like the flour it took to coat the chicken before you fried it. That's just not good for you either. So every time you eat and your body takes that food in and breaks it down into sugar, is hoping that your body will use that sugar because the brain runs off of sugar. A lot of important organs run off of sugar. In fact, most of your body run off of sugar. So it's waiting and wanting sugar. But and that has nothing to do with the taste of things. You can eat something so bland, but I'm telling you, when it is broken down, it will be broken down into sugar. Everything turns into sugar if you think of it like that. So smash the like button, you guys. Smash the like button. Um, Giving you some nuggets here. So this is a spike. Just look at this as a spike. I chose this graph because we had a baseline, and every time you ate, you started from here, the baseline, whoop, a big old amplitude wave. That's the spike. That's how much sugar. If you want to say that's the measurement of the sugar. Well, it's a long way from this baseline of 0 up to here where they got this spike. And vice versa. This is the opposite. So when you don't eat, look at this. Your sugar decrease. We can say this the drop off of sugar decreasing. But not to fear because your body is resilient. You always store away sugar. Nobody's walking around here with 0% body fat. It's an impossibility. So we all have fat on our body, even when we look thin, and definitely when we look big or overweight, we have fat on our body. So to answer the question about how the sugar thing works again, I'm hoping that this kind of clarifies just a little bit. But every time you eat, this is what happens. Boom, a spike. Now these spikes are not good. They're not good for you. Because according to however much this represents in numbers, that means your pancreas got to do that much work and release that many sugar molecules per day. Now, this is just how I envision things, and on what I'm about to say with the pancreas. Okay, suppose that it is a thing that your pancreas is supposed to only release, let's say, I'm going to do a small number, 10 sugar molecules a day. But the way you eat, you're releasing 100 a day. That's not good, because that 10 a day times the amount of time that you live on this earth in days. So you may live to be 90, or maybe you got enough sugar in your pancreas to cover you from day to day, healthy wise, to you 90. That's how much you got in the pancreas. Kind of like how many eggs we're able to create as women in our lifetime. When we get to a point where we have no more eggs that we can create, and I'm not talking about fertilized eggs, when we get to that point, what happens? We go through menopause because there's no more eggs to be created. That's the whole purpose of menopause. Well, what happens? What if there was a such thing that your pancreas has a set number per day that is supposed to create some insulin, and you're sitting up there taking, yes, I mean tomorrow's, the next day, the next week, and the next month, sugar molecules, and using it all in one day? Wouldn't you be shortening your life? Wouldn't that lead to stuff like diabetes? I mean, this is just some extra I thought. This is nothing I read or anything, but I look at it like that because everything in your body is living, and therefore it has a shelf life. And things are supposed to be dispersed evenly. You know, if the stars line up and everything's right, things supposed to be dispersed evenly. And so if it's not, are you using up all your sugar for a month's worth of sugar in one day? And if you do that for 20 or so years, and we shocked that your pancreas have an inability to create the proper amount of sugar, which leads to type 2 diabetes. See what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? So again, baseline is you before you ate, you in a fasting state. Soon as you eat, boom, spikes up sugar. That's how much sugar is entering your body. What you will prefer is anything closer to this baseline. Now, I told you your body runs off sugar, so that's the fuel that you need. So you have to eat, you have to consume something. So, yes, you're going to have an amplitude, but you don't want it to be that high, because maybe that height is just way too much. But a smaller height, such as, let me see, this might be better. It's still a height, because once you eat the sugar, once you eat the food, you're going to have sugar in your body anyway. What you don't want is steep spikes over and over and over again throughout the day. You want to be as close to this baseline as far as spikes of sugar. And whenever you eat, you will produce sugar. So I hope that made sense to some of you guys, of how sugar, what it does, and why it's a threat. Because what you don't want to do is constantly having spikes of sugar. When you eat, you want closer to that baseline of zero. If zero is the baseline, and that height was 10, you want to be like at between 1 and 3, maybe 4. And let all that other stuff be, be that extracurricular stuff that you eat. You want to eat something that's going to give you a sugar spike of 2 or 3. What are those somethings? They could be like spinach, kale, fruits, vegetables, stuff that got nutrients that your body can use. And then the sugar that your body gets from a cheeseburger, and I hate to pick on a cheeseburger. Cheeseburgers are good. I hate to pick on you, or a hot dog, or a pizza. It just might not like you. You just might have to really eat that sparingly, far and in between. But just what happens if you eat a cheeseburger and the spike could be at 2? Oh, wouldn't it be a good day? Wouldn't it be cool if that's what it was? But it's not. It's not like that. You eat a cheeseburger, it's gonna be like 15. And I told you, like that height, the big spike was 10. 10 might be like max, like don't go over 10. You know what I'm saying? But if you eat that cheeseburger, boom, you at 15, over 10, overkill. But if you eat a salad, let's say you eat a salad and you don't have cheese in it, eggs, uh, other bull crap, just everything in it came from the ground, period. You ain't have to process it, make it or nothing. Pulled it out the ground, washed it off, and ate it. Your spike gonna be 1 or 2, and that's what you want. And you're gonna find yourself losing a lot of weight real fast. So I hope I answered that person's question. And from everything that I've said, even when it comes to about losing weight or whatever, I just told you that or gave you that visualization. But even knowing that and hearing that, you might understand it, but you don't connect it to the big picture. A lot of times we have problems with that, with people connecting it to the big picture so that they can see how the body really functions and under what circumstances the body functions. And that way they can choose better and know better how to whatever. I would say like this. I told y'all my goal was to get off the prednisone. I can't promise that I could. The other day I was swelling, but thank God. And I'm talking about in my mouth, I was swelling. My tongue started swelling right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. This side was big and it got smaller as it went on that side. But it never went past the middle of my tongue. Y'all know that your tongue goes further down than what you can see. If I felt that it was moving, I would have raced to the emergency room, got my concoction of steroids. And y'all already know that's my goal, to get off them, because they're derailing me. They're stopping me from progress. The water is doing its magic. My skin is clearing up. I know a lot of you guys have complimented me, and I thank you. I'm not with no big head or nothing, but thank you. You said, "Oh, your skin is so clear." It is the water, y'all. It's the water. It's the water. If you don't think I look how old I am, it's the water. It's the water. Plus, in my family, we got a young gene, but it's the water. And I ain't got a big head about that. It is what it is. Hell, I gotta have something. I got all this other shit that a lot of people ain't dealing with, like an autoimmune disorder. Can't get rid of the bitch, but hey, the little bit nuggets that God gave me, I'll be like, I gotta take them and be happy with. So that big wave and the little wave, I hope it explains when it comes to the spike of sugar. You guys smash that like button. Come on. Get with the program. If you're in Facebook, coming to the YouTube channel, smash that mother sucker. Hook a sister up, why don't you? Smash the like button. So then what foods, somebody asked me what foods when eating, food turns into sugar when eating. That's an easy one. Everything. Everything. Because one, let me think. Let me grab this. This is an object. It's a tape. Oh, that's cute. That's a tape, look, Scotch tape or whatever. Dispenser. Or better yet, these finished bottles of water. Plastic, right? I can't eat that plastic. I can't take the top off and chew it up. I can't eat the bottom. But if I could, you have to say to yourself, it'll turn to sugar. But I can't eat it. I can't digest it. It's not going to go down in my throat. But if it could, you have to say that, right? Because I told you, everything you eat turns to sugar. But here's a fun fact. It's a lot of food that they got out there that are essentially plastic, and we eat it all the time. Rice, for one. Got to be careful about the rice you buy. I buy Japanese rice in the store, and it comes in a white bag, a big white bag. They got a smaller one, like a 2-pound bag. I get 5-pound bags, and start with the name start with N, like Nishiki or something like that. I can't think of the name. I know it when I see it, but I buy it because I like Japanese rice. Period. I lived in Japan, and when I went over there and I would eat their rice, I could never go back to American rice. I cannot eat American rice anymore because yuck. That's what I'm gonna say. Yuck. If you taste Japanese rice and then try to eat American rice, yeah, 1 second, 1 second. I know y'all like, in the hell? I hate when it rub off. I gotta find some lipstick that don't really rub off. But anywho, rice. Rice go with most meals. Believe it or not, rice is a vegan food. I bet y'all glad y'all heard that. White rice, brown rice, any rice. You know why it's a vegan food? Because you don't have to alter it. It comes out of the ground the way it is. Potatoes, beans, just to name a few. And they're very fulfilling. They're starches. They are carbohydrates, but they're complex carbohydrates. But rice turns to sugar too. I don't want people to be caught up on the color right now of food. Of course, the darker the food, the more nutritional it is, the more nutrients you're going to get out of it. I know you've heard the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That is true. The darker things are, the more things have color, the more nutritional they are. The more they are voided of color, the less nutritional they are. But we gonna be on the tip of, if it come out the ground, it's good to go. So I buy this white rice and I call it sticky rice because Japanese rice is thick and sticky. You don't need a whole lot. And it's, oh my God, talking about fulfilling you. I see why they can eat that shit every day. Because before that, I couldn't eat no rice every day. But I refuse to eat American rice. The closest I probably come to is jasmine rice. I don't even know if that's American rice, but in Americans deal with long grain rice, and I think Japan, like people in Japan, deal with short grain rice. How would you tell the difference? Look at the rice before you cook it and see which one is longer and thin, and the other one is shorter. Um, I hope I got that right. If not, it's vice versa. But either way, you'll know American rice. If you ever taste, well, you know American rice because you grew up on it. But if you ever taste sticky rice, you never really want to go back to American rice. And I can't. I refuse to eat it. It's just like before I left to live overseas in the different places I live, I could drink water out the tap. No problem. Now, hell no. I have to drink bottled water. I don't care if I put a filter on my sink. I've been drinking. It took me a minute to drink the water out of my refrigerator because I know it comes from the it's like tap water because refrigerator make ice and shoot out water, whatever. But I put a filter on. It took me a long time to trust that. But I'm on that. I'm on that with the filter. Like I buy them as often as I need them. But sometimes like the first batch after I put a new filter, I don't eat that ice, or I don't even mess with ice no more like I used to, because I used to be real anemic. And you can tell people who are anemic because they crunch on ice all day. That's not good. You need to get yourself checked out, or you run the risk of bumping your head and you might not wake up. PGH Big Dog is in the building. What's popping, King? He says salute, Queen T. Salute to you too, King. So what kind of food you can eat that turns into sugar? Everything. Oh, why did I get on rice and all that? And I said that was good because here's the thing. I was talking about the plastic. I can't eat the plastic, but if I could, it would turn to sugar. Let me tell you another thing that we eat. Oh, because rice, there are some rice that is plastic. Do your research, but they make plastic rice and you eat it more than likely. It's cheaper. It's just not cool, but it's cheaper. And when they make it things that are fake and fugazi, trust me, there are some real parts in it. Else you couldn't even digest it. But there's parts in it that's not real, that's not living. You're supposed to eat living things that or things that were once living. That don't mean meat, because we're not carnivores. I went through that. I'm not gonna go in depth about that. But we are herbivores. We are not carnivores. And you don't ever have to eat meat to gain weight, to get bigger. The biggest mammals on earth do not eat meat. And humans the same. We got flat teeth. We do not have carnivores. It's nothing about us is designed to eat flesh. Nothing. But hey, old habits die hard. Don't look at me like I'm preaching at y'all, because guess who love meat? This kid right here. Oh man, oxtails and oh my god, do I? But I had to learn they don't like me, so I had to get off it. And I'm steadily working on not being on steroids. We're gonna talk about steroids in a minute. But margarine, you know that country crock, which is my favorite butter. And they got all different kinds. Come in a big tub, small tubs. I don't even buy it no more. That's how I help myself. I don't bring it in the house. But that butter is one molecule away from being plastic. Purity plastic. That is the truth. Check that label. So much crap is made with bioengineering and fake shit. Exactly. And then PGAs, you know what? They're not even gonna tell you. Because we know America is slick. I'm gonna tell you how crafty they are. I lived overseas. A lot of y'all who watching might not. I get some people that live overseas, so they know this. They are not obligated overseas to put labels on shit. If they do it, you lucky. But for the most part, they don't. They're not obligated. If you go in the store, I lived in Spain for years. If you go in the store and the grocery store in Spain, and it's just like that in France, and just like that in England. Why? I've been there. I know. It's like that in Scotland. When you go in their stores, let's say you want to buy a chicken, you want to cook a chicken. Now I'm gonna tell you, Spanish people can't cook a lot of different cultures, their meals. I found that in Germany, whatever flow show boat, whether it's seafood, if it's soul food, if it's Italian food, whatever that is, them damn Germans can cook. I'll tell you right now, they got their own typical cultural meal that I won't fuck with. That soup with that big ass sausage like looking thing in the soup. Nah, I'm not fucking with that. But they eat certain meats that we don't eat, like even in McDonald's. But what I was saying about chicken, you go in the store and you say, I'm gonna cook me some chicken. And no such thing really is buying a whole bunch of chicken wings. I mean, if they do, I didn't see it back then. They could now. Because chicken wings should be popular everywhere, right? You go in there, you buy the chicken, The head on that motherfucker is still attached and the feet. Now you talking about if you want to be scared straight, buy your meat when it's in fully intact. I rarely ate chicken in Spain because of that. True story. Because I was like, I can go to the store and get my own chicken and cook a whole chicken. But I ain't finna cook it with the head on it. Now, if it just sound crazy, but it looked like a person, an animal, that is. But y'all know what I mean. That's what I was saying. Look like a person. That's what I would say, but I meant animal. If you think about children, if you really just look at children, who makes them eat meat? We do. My kid did not want to eat no goddamn meat. Um, she would have me buy like SpongeBob. My son neither. Like, but she would have me buy SpongeBob. Like they could be on the ice cream truck. She'd be like, "Mom, I want the SpongeBob," and I'll buy it for her. And then we get in the house, and I'm eating my little strawberry shortcake thing I bought. And I was like, "Oh, here, you can eat it." And she was like, "Nah, nah, I can't eat it." I was like, "Why not?" I don't want to eat his eyes. She actually looked at SpongeBob like he was a real thing, and she's not gonna eat it. Y'all want to see something else crazy? Remember those memes that was going around on Facebook and social media with the people who had a cake made that looked just like their dog, and they put the cake in front of the dog, like on the table or something, with like a coffee table or something. And y'all know dogs. Dogs are greedy as hell. They got like a bottomless pit as a stomach, and they don't supposed dogs should never eat chocolate. Chocolate is supposed to be like poisonous to them. But they'll still beg for that shit. So don't get well. I guess you can't avoid it if you're trying to match the color, but you could probably do any animal and just sit this cake on the table, and these people took a fork or a knife or something, and they cut in the middle of the cake or cut the head of the cake and then scooped it on the fork and ate it. And the dog backed the fuck up like, wait a minute. The dog had a reaction the same way as if you rolled up on some people and they was cooking humans. You be trying to run so goddamn fast, your whole life will flash before your eyes. But I will submit to you that all animals feel that way, even sharks. You now they say the sharks are attracted to menstruation, so women should be careful about getting in the beaches because they're menstruating. If you don't want a shark around you, tie a dead shark to you. It could be a baby shark. They will not come around your ass. That's their reaction. Animals mourn their, their equivalents, like their peers. I'm gonna say it like that. We won't eat. We not understanding nobody who eat people, and if you eating people, then you gonna go crazy. That's why like stuff like incest and all that shit ain't good. Animals feel the same way. That means they have feelings. So if it has eyeballs and feelings and a spine, those are three things you can look at to say whether or not you should eat it. If it just has eyeballs, but you can't tell if it has a spine or feelings, fact that it got eyeballs, don't eat it. If it just has one of the other three things or all three, don't eat it. That's how you know not to eat that. We're not supposed to eat anything that has eyeballs, feelings, or a spine. And if people argue that and be like, well, animals don't have feelings, then why do babies play? Why do animals, when they're born, act like children? They play. You have to have feelings and emotions to do that. Why do they sad when their parents reject them? Because that happens too. Or like, primates who are on the endangered species list. when their mother get killed for whatever, um, and they don't get the baby because the baby went and hid. That baby remembers. They remember, and there's proof for that too, like concrete proof. You're not supposed to be doing that. But this is all about changing how you look at things, thinking about what you eat. When you eat meat, that could turn to sugar too. Everything you eat turns to sugar. And then from once it turns to sugar, it'll turn to fat if it's not used. So that country crock butter, that margarine that a lot of us in America use, it turned to sugar and then it turned to fat. But before it turned to fat, your body tries to use it. But if it cannot use it, it'll just store it as fat. Now, you're not supposed to be able to use it because it's not real sugar, right? But your body is resilient and adaptable. If you're all of a sudden starving, your body gonna do whatever it takes. Don't think no damage ain't gonna be done. It's kind of like if you think about those people that survived the Holocaust, they were deprived of adequate sugar. They wasn't fed properly, and a lot of them starved to death. But even when they got better, they never really got better. They have underlying issues for the rest of their life. For real. Because of that. So the same thing with you using fake shit, you're gonna have some issues for the rest of your life if you have to rely on fake sugar. So that and the reason why it turned to fat immediately is because your body rejected it. It can't be used. Remember the club that I was telling you. So the arteries and the veins are the clubs that all this sugar is trying to get into the cells with the cells. And there's a bouncer on the front like this. And when you eat that cheeseburger and it turns to sugar, it might have that whole cheeseburger might have created 20 molecules of sugar, in which because you had pickles on it, because you had lettuce and tomato or whatever you had on there that was nutritional. So it had 20 molecules of sugar, but only let me say three or four could be used. Like four was real sugar. Let's say three to make the numbers exact. So the pancreas registered that you just ate this cheeseburger and it yielded for its purpose 20 molecules of sugar. So the pancreas is going to make enough sugar to cover 20 molecules of sugar. Because remember, for every 3 molecule of sugar, in order for that sugar to get in your cells to be transported around your body for fuel and energy for organs and whatnot and your brain, it has to be accompanied with 1 molecule of sugar from the pancreas. So when I said 20, let's say if it was 21, that means the pancreas made 7 molecules of sugar for the 21 molecules of sugar that the cheeseburger gave you. Okay, but only 3 of them could be used. So now you have an excess of 18 molecules of sugar and an excess of 6 molecules of sugar that came from your pancreas that's just floating around in your body that's got to turn into fat. And worst of all, visceral fat, the fat that goes around each organ, because that's where you get fat first. That's why fat don't happen like that. It's gonna start there and then it's gonna be right under the skin. The fat that's right under your skin, you can peel that shit off easy. Any of us. It's that visceral fat. Nothing happens till you get rid of that. Why you don't want visceral fat? Think about your heart. It's supposed to go boom. One complete beat. Boom. Now you got fat around, it's going boop, boop. is struggling. It just because it can only go but this far, it doesn't mean that it don't try every time to go that far. It always tried to say but boom. But because you got the fat around, it's like boop, boop, boop. Now it's gonna work overtime. Now you're overworking your heart, and now you're gonna get damage to your heart. You see how the domino effect will happen? So again, for every sugar molecule that your body registers, it has to be accompanied with one molecule from the pancreas. The bouncer is standing at the door of the arteries and the veins, and it's saying, the sugar is like, yo, let us in. And the bouncer, no matter how many fake IDs you want to come up with, he know real sugar and fake sugar. To the fake sugar, he be like, to the real march. Get on out of here. You're underage. To the real sugar, it be like, okay, now where's your accompanied person? Where's your escort? And the pancreas send that one molecule of sugar with it. So now it's a total of 4 that they let in at a time. They let them in. Now you have the fuel and energy in the bloodstream, i.e., cells, red blood cells, to be carried to all the necessary organs so that they can do what they do, so that they can have energy to do what they do. That's the insulin kind of thing in a nutshell. I hope you guys can visualize that, because that's exactly kind of how it works. Now, to the 18 molecules of sugar that came from that cheeseburger that the bouncer won't let in the door for nobody, it's gonna send it off to be fat, and that fat is gonna be evenly dispersed all over the body. It's not gonna just go to one area and cop a squat. It's gonna pretty much go everywhere, evenly dispersed. And the weirdest thing about the human body is that it's resilient and adaptable. As I say, if that body were to go through famine, it'll find a way to use that fat. And the whole time that fat is over there, your body is going to try to extrapolate shit that it can use, like the fiber of it all. Because just because it's not a good food to eat, it doesn't mean that it don't have fiber. You see what I'm saying? And fat mixed with fat is a positive in algebra, right? So it is important to eat things that are rich in fat, like avocados. I don't like avocados. So I'm gonna have to miss the boat on that. Demetrius, you was talking about avocados. I think I'm not doing no avocados. But if you do eat meat, the fat on the meat is actually good. It's better than it's not. We went through this campaign in the 70s, we as a country, and I didn't, I was a kid, but we as a country went through a campaign where we wanted to be into making your meat as lean as possible. It has a worse effect than what it's trying not to do. No meat is good for you, number one. But if you're gonna eat it, do eat the one that got the fat on it. I know that could make a lot of people happy to know that fat is better than lean. It just is. It just is. Real fat, because the animal fat is real fat. It's better than eating lean meat. Besides, meatloaf don't taste good. That's why I find a lot of people have a problem when they make it meatloaf. Let me give you a little hint, because I can cook too. Meatloaf don't taste good if you get the leanness of meat. Try like 80, 85% fat or lean or whatever they say on the package. Rock with that. I go with 80. That's the best meatloaf. Well, if you ever get meatloaf that's dry as a bitch, because it's lean, more than likely that's what somebody did. But again, if you're going to eat ground beef, make it be like once a month. And they'll tell you that you can get iron from meats and protein, but you get more from vegetables and fruit, and that is protein and iron. Red meat doesn't give you enough iron that should even be in your diet. Um, it's almost like saying vitamin D for milk. You get more vitamin D from just going out there in the sun than you ever will from milk. It's not enough in there to fortify a healthy you, to even have that in your diet. So get rid of that damn milk, especially if you're a grown person. Um, so we know that everything you eat turns into fat. So I answered those questions and I talked about insulin again. And in the future, I will talk about it more and more and more. And like I said, I will repeat it as much as necessary. Smash the like button, please. Smash that goddamn like button, y'all. Jump on that joint. Do it for your girl. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't. So we're gonna talk about different ways to burn fat in the body. Again, I'm trying not to be here. I'm gonna fly through this, but we will always, repeat, repeat, repeat. Anybody got a question? Please stop me. Make yourself be known. The phone lines are open. 706 804 4449. That's 706 804 4449. And smash the like button. Yeah. Or come through the chat. Or I put a link in the chat. It's at the top. So you can chime in if you want to. But if you don't chime in or you don't ask me nothing, I'll just continue. But I'm willing to pause and hear what you got to say. Different ways to burn fat in the body. We talked about the different ways to burn fat in the body. You got ghrelin and insulin, which come from the pancreas. Insulin is not, it's a necessary hormone, but it's not the one that you attributed to burning fat. Again, most of you guys who write me ask me about how can I lose weight, and I help you guys, but I have a different approach, right? And you guys first, y'all be like, but I done read your feedbacks now. And you guys done peeled it off faster than you ever tried any other way. Like one of y'all, I'm not gonna call your name, but I don't think I'm stepping over the bound when I say this. You lost 21 pounds that first week, didn't you? Holla at your girl. Y'all can write me, hit me up at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. I work with people who are on dialysis, people who have, especially people with diabetes, people who have autoimmune disorders. Those are the ones that motivated me to even do this, because that's what I suffer from, and I had to learn a new way. But I definitely get more people that write me about how to lose weight quick and healthy, because there is no shortcut. But this worked faster than any other method out there. Exercise, going on a calorie diet, whatever. This one works. It's like I can guarantee. Demetrius Bright said adipose is another word for fat. Yep, that's what it is. Yep, adipose tissue. It can be white or it can be brown. Brown is always being burnt. Most young children have more brown adipose tissue than adults. That's because they're constantly moving. Like I gave an example before. An 8 to 10-year-old child will take about 80,000 steps that day, 70,000 steps, something like that. Do you know you would damn near think you killing yourself if you took 70,000 steps a day? Just to even get it up to 20, you be like, I can't do it no more. I just can't do it no more. I used to walk 10 miles a day, and I don't even think I got over 30,000 steps. That's a lot of steps. The average female adult will walk about 3,500 steps a day, and that's her getting up, taking her kids to school. Maybe they caught the bus, going to work, moving around at work, stopping at the store to pick up some item you need for the grocery store, dollar store, whatever, on your way home, getting dinner together, washing your kids in the tub at night. I'm talking the average amount of just doing that, which is a lot per day, 35 to 4,000 calories. I mean, steps a day. Men, 46 to 5,000 per day. doing the same thing. But yet, if you was trying to lose weight, you will want to do 10,000 steps per day before you even see. But white adipose tissue, Demetrius, is hard to get off. That's the hard one. Very hard to get off. And the older we get, because we don't have the energy like we did when we were young, therefore we're not moving like we are when we young, we not burning. And I'm gonna tell you, like a lot of people in the military know this. I don't know if people on the street know this, like in civilian world. Another good exercise that people do, because whatever exercise you engage in, make sure it's one that you have fun with. So a lot of people play basketball. Now, when I was into walking 10 miles a day, and I had a wellness class at school when I was going for my degree, and it was one of them all around, like it was like a gym class. We did everything. We played baseball, we played everything, but it was some kind of physical activity. And we was playing basketball, and you know how when you go on the court, you got uh, a hoop here and a hoop down the bottom, and on the side you got a couple of. So the teacher broke us up in groups and had us play. It was a big ass class, and had us play basketball. Just half court. And everybody had to get a chance, and the guys was hogging the ball. They won't try to throw it to a sister. I'm like, I know how to do this. Y'all should trust me. Anywho, I was just trying to get open, running to the rebound to get the rebound. I basically was playing defense and getting the rebound, kicking it back out to the person at the key. And I'm telling you, when I walk off that court, just playing, I think we played 11 to 12 minutes. 11 or 12 minutes, I have walked or took a step 5,000. When I was going to say 15, 5,000 steps. I don't feel like I took 5,000 steps, but I took 5,000 steps running a half court game, 5-on-5. Again, I wasn't driving to the basket. I wasn't doing a whole lot of offensive anything. I was defensive, running, trying to get open. But the guys who was checking me pretty good. And the guy who was playing the guard position, he wasn't gonna throw it to me because he thought that guy who was checking me was gonna take the ball. He probably would have been right too, because I am not in basketball condition. But whenever we went to the hoop, or Dave did, I just got under the hoop. And I was like, well, I can at least do that, put my body on somebody and get a rebound or something. And I'm telling you, 11, 12, I think each, because all of us had to get a turn. He let us play like 11 to 12 minutes and 5,000 steps. And I was walking 10 miles back then. And I was like, so I was in shape to walk and everything. I could play the game, but if you're going to play basketball, it's kind of like you got this conditioning routines you could do to be really good at basketball. I wasn't in no kind of condition like that, but I could walk, I could run around them, going back and forth. Before I knew 5,000 steps, I was like, I be goddamn. Now imagine if that's what you did for exercise 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week. You went to the YMCA, you got in the game, you played with the fellas there. That's what older guys do now to keep in shape. And I know in the Navy, a lot of guys did that. And I used to be like, wonder, why can y'all play? Like, how can y'all play 3, 4 times a week? And guess what? They use it as their exercise. Burn a lot of calories trying to play basketball and all that movement. I would say soccer too, like all them sports. Like, even if you're a novice or just a casual player, you can burn a lot of calories. So you put that one on your list too. But like I said, people who like basketball, they may look at it like, oh, that's fun. And then it won't seem like work. I'm telling you, 11 or 12 minutes of play bought me 5,000 steps. All I had to do is sit on the sideline, wait my turn again, get back in there, and I would have had my 10,000 steps for the day which equals approximately 5 miles. So if you walk 5 miles a day, you will start to see weight loss. Just for the people out there that ask me all the time about weight loss who don't want to let it go or can't seem to let it go, to reprogram your mind, because my program, you don't need exercise. But maybe 3 weeks into the program, you're going to crave it. And it's not a hard decision. You're just going to crave it. There are times when you'll get like, I just want to run somewhere. And you can run. The energy of it all. You people who be trying to roll back the clock, like on your years, your age. All these people out here using steroids and shit to try to be youthful in sports when we know that's a banned substance. What they're trying to do is put their body back in the youth positioning where they, you got the growth hormones going on and all that stuff. That's the best time of your life. Not only are you growing, you can develop muscles very easily. You heal from exercise very quickly. This is why they use that shit. But you want to know how I feel to have that going on without any side effects? Completely eat raw fruits and vegetables. And by your third week, you're gonna feel it. Now, isn't that amazing? Remember Timothy Bradley as a boxer? Because I know some of you come here through the channel of boxing. Remember, he was a vegan. Look how cut he was and muscled up as he was. He was a vegan. On TV, he looked bigger. I met him last October. He's not that big of a guy. Even now, I was like, he's on the short side or whatever. He's not that big a guy, but he was a cut up dude. Y'all remember how he looked? All vegan. That didn't make him bony and threw him off, and he, what was we calling him? Was it Superman? Nerves of steel? No, someone with the war. I forgot what was his nickname, because Timothy Bradley could be knocked out standing completely up with his eyes open. I keep saying nerves of steel. Shit, I can't remember, but they used to have a nickname for him that denoted the fact that he was knocked the fuck out, up, like knocked out, standing up with his eyes open, and had the fortitude to throw a punch, but he be knocked out. So ghrelin and insulin, like I said, we talked about insulin. This is a refresher with the ghrelin. Ghrelin is also the other hormone that your pancreas make, but it only makes it when your stomach hasn't engaged in no food digesting. So that means you would have had to literally eat the food in your mouth, chew it up, swallow it, and then make it to the stomach. And from there, insulin is in play. If you don't put no food in your mouth and you don't chew it up and eat it and swallow it, then from there, ghrelin is in play because you didn't eat. Now, ghrelin is the release of ghrelin simultaneously would be going on with your body is hunger pains, what we call hunger pains. I always tell you guys, hunger is not a real thing, but it do seem real. It's tangible, Miss T. It is real. But for this purpose, what it is, ghrelin is released, you got hunger pains. We had a thing about that when we was talking about satiety, meaning the leptin make you feel full, and the ghrelin when you're on E, when you're empty. So if you release ghrelin, and the only way you're gonna release it is if you have not eaten, chewed up no food, and swallowed it, and the digestion process started. That's the only way your pancreas is gonna release that instead of insulin. And how you know that it's released? Because you get hunger pains. Now, how long can you guys fast in the day before you start getting hunger pains? Is the question. For me, about 8 hours before I get the first hunger pain. Could be 12 sometimes 16. There's a such thing as fasting per day. In fact, when you eat in the morning, that's what you're doing. Your body doesn't rejuvenate, recuperate, and do any of those things while you're eating. Just like, you ever notice that when you're in pain or you just come out of surgery, you don't give a damn about food? There's parts, it's like the parts of your body that shut down specifically for that. If you're in pain and you just came out of surgery, it's your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. Which one of them would take over? Just like when we be talking about fight or flight, these are real things. So your body do stuff in response to shit that you're doing. So if you don't eat, ghrelin is going to be released. And the good thing about ghrelin, and this goes to that question about, the weight loss and all that, because I always get these questions and I know it's popular. Good thing about ghrelin, it eats through fat. That adipose tissue you talking about, Demetrius, my God, will ghrelin run through that shit like nobody business. And not in one spot. It runs through it everywhere, because once ghrelin is released, it's released in all of your body, all in your system. So wherever there's fat, it's going to simultaneously eat through that fat. And that's how people lose weight, when they fast, because of ghrelin. But we know that you can fast and eat, but be fasting at the same time. Fasting pretty much meaning, if you don't engage your stomach with digestion, then you are fasting. If you find a way to eat food that gets straight into the bloodstream, which we know of one way, which is fat, which is juicing or smoothie drinkings or whatever. But that's one way where you drink it, it's going straight into your bloodstream. It's not going to your stomach. And guess and where is all the food that you eat supposed to wind up in anyway? What is the last destination anyway? The bloodstream. So you bypass a whole lot of stuff just to go straight to the bloodstream. Well, what about the fiber, Mister? You don't need it. Not having fiber in your diet is not going to kill you. But we are designed to sit there and eat, right? Chew food, swallow, eat. And then that way, yeah, you want fiber to go along with that. But if you're going to find a way to get your nutrients straight into your bloodstream, you don't need no fiber. So that's the difference between ghrelin and insulin. And remember, they are hormones that are activated based on whether or not you eat or not. And remember, hunger pains is synonymous with ghrelin. And so when you have those hunger pains, you had some ghrelin released in your body, just so you know. Now you want it to be you if normal amounts of ghrelin, because you fasted for about 8 hours, let's say the top is 10, and you release after 8 hours 5. Oh, you'll get a pound or two, maybe, or half a pound. But let's say you say you release about 10. Not that I'm saying that you can put a number on ghrelin and insulin, but just imagine it that way. If you release 10 ghrelins, and they just burnt, like I told you, they like pack bag, pop, 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 pop. They eating through the fat. So boom, you probably lose a pound or two. But let's say it's the next day, the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Then it's a week, and then it's 2 weeks. And you haven't chewed nothing. You know how much ghrelin is going to be outpoured into your system? And the beautiful thing about ghrelin, there's no medicine you need to take to regulate that. The only thing you need to do to stop ghrelin is to put something in your mouth, chew on it, eat it. How simple is that? So you're not gonna get so skinny you wither away. You can stop that train by just eating the food. Eating what you've been juicing. You can do it that way. But that's why they occur. That's where they come from. And that's how they aid in weight gain or whatever. Because as you know, a lot of people getting diagnosed with insulin resistance. another disorder that's a part of the autoimmune disorder family. And if somebody ever tell you you have insulin resistance, tell yourself you got type 2 diabetes. You might not want to hear it. Might not have been something that sounds pleasant, but just tell yourself that, because that's pretty much what you got. We're not gonna get into why they diagnose something type 2 diabetes and why they say, oh, you got pre-diabetes. There's no such thing as pre-diabetes. You either got it or you don't. It's just a guide. It's just a guide that based on 1,000 peoples that they did a study of that said when your levels, you and your sugar levels at this number, then tell that person they got diabetes type 2. If it's under that number, then they don't have it. If it's 10 or 20 within the range, then tell that person they got pre-diabetes. Ain't no such as pre-diabetes. Insulin resistance, same thing. What is it saying? It's resistant. Insulin has something to do with sugar, i.e., diabetes. Now, the different ways you can drop the weight off. Now, I'm gonna try to run through this because now I'm like at 1 hour and 26 minutes. So we can lift weights. We can lift weights. How for men? Men pretty much know what it takes to make them look like they look. You want to do in general is just to get the gist. You want low reps. Like what is it? You got the sets. You can do like up to 5 sets. But you have to work up to that, people. Don't go in there that first day trying to lift no weights and go to do 5 sets. Each set can have repetition. So for men, they want a low repetition, but they want a higher weight. Like when we go in, ladies, we start off with like 10 pounds, right? 10, 15, 20, 25. That's our little range. You can get the 5 pounders, you can get the 2.5 pounders, but at 25, my wrist, if I haven't been lifting in a while, will start to hurt, and the form will be off. However you lift weights, you want to do it in the right form. Never sacrifice the form for how many times you're gonna lift or how many sets you're gonna do. Now, for men who want to bulk up, they're gonna do, let's say that first set is 8 reps. And I guess men, I'm gonna say a good start off for men is 35 pounds, barbells, dumbbells, or whatever you got, free weights. So they'll lift that, and let's say they're doing this curl, okay? 1, and it's slow and methodical. 2, and squeeze when you come up to the top. 3, and you do it, you get to 8, and then you let it down. And then you do the other side. Or maybe you're doing them at both times. But it's slow and methodical. It's correct form. And it's a squeeze at the top every time, right? That's 8. So you take like 10, 15-second break. And eventually you can get hit training, like you just go right again. Like there's no break. But when you start off, take your little 30-second break, whatever it is. So then when you go to set number 2, you're going to do 8, but instead of 35 pounds, you're going to do 40. 1, slow and methodical. 2, 3, and then in squeezing every time you get to the top. Boom, take your 30-second break. Set 3. Now you're going to do 45 pounds. Y'all get my drift. More weight, heavier weight. Still slow and methodical. Make the form count. If you can't do 8 good forms, then do 6. But you have to reach failure. I'm gonna tell you what failure is after that, because it's mostly dealing with for me, when I think of failure, it's mostly dealing with losing the weight. But failure can be the bulk up too. And all this stuff, shout out to Shannon Harrison. He know who he is. He was a trainer who lived in my neighborhood. Dude know everything about weight. All this stuff I learned from him, working out with him. So shout outs to him. I don't know if he still does it. I hope he do. He's an excellent trainer. Um, so for females, okay, will be 12 and he took the words right out of my mouth. 12 and 15 repetition with 3 to 5 sets, 45 second to a minute rest breaks. Yeah. But again, too, if you want to get to hit training or you want to change it up when you're increasing intensity, maybe your increase in intensity could be from you taking 30 seconds breaks instead of 45 or 15-second break instead of 30 or no break. Just boom, go right into it. A 2-second, 3-second break, then right back to it. That can be an increase, you know, because once you get used to stuff, you're gonna plateau. So now you gotta shock your body to do more. And that's all this. It's just increase. If you started running nonstop at a nice little pace, start with 8 minutes. When you get to a point where you're not however you was in the beginning, throw 9 minutes. If you do 9 minutes and you ain't even dropped a bead of sweat, 10. That's how you increase intensity. You start low, you build high. So with females, okay, you're gonna start off maybe with 5 pounds or 10, whichever one. But let's say you start off with 5 because you never done this before. And you're just now into this. So you're gonna do same thing I just said about the men, slow and methodical, squeeze on your way up and come back down. If the come down should be really slow. The going up can be a normal pace, but the come down is slow and methodical. For real, for real. That's where you get the most burn and the effect and the ripping of the muscles. So you keep doing that. You do one, you can get to 5 sets. But anybody, man or woman, who starts off, start with 1 set. 1 set. If you're doing chest that day, do 4 different chest exercises. Each one do 1 set. Same thing I said, slow and methodical. If you're doing a push up under Olympic size bar, you push it up quick, but when you bring it down, slow and methodical. Squeeze on your way down. So, anyway, everything is a push or pull, right? So, then what is failure? So, let's say I'm up to 3 sets. I can't really do 5, but I'm up to 3 sets. Now, I did 12 reps, right, of my 5 pounders. By the time I get to set 3, soon as I do 1 and 2, I'm already shaking. I'm getting up there. When what failure occurs is when you're trying to do it and it takes everything out you to get your last, your 11. You're like shaking. 12, don't break the form, don't start leaning and all that. Stay in form. You're like, 12 and you're shaking. You have reached failure. Like your muscle is like, I can't do shit else no more. And what do? You do one more. Boom. Same way. You will have so many microscopic tears in your muscle, and that's what you want. Why do you want the microscopic tears? They're going to hurt, not that day. They hurt when they heal up. That's what DOMS is, delayed onset muscle soreness. That's what that is. So 2 or 3, like you'll be sore that day, but 2 or 3 days later, you might experience DOMS. That's when you hear about people getting in the ice bath. That shit hurt like nobody business. And I'm telling you, ladies, it's enough where we gonna think, shit, this ain't for me. I can't do this shit no more. But trust me, it's a normal response to a tear. It only hurts really, really bad when you're healing up. And that's what DOMS is. So you have ripped that little muscle, right? But guess what it takes to fix the muscle? Fat in your body. Every time you rip a muscle, and you can rip a muscle, it will make a microscopic tear, meaning you can't see with your naked eye, and it'll make several of them, and your body will heal it up, whether you asked it to do it or not. It's going to do it. So it has to take fat, but it won't take it from one spot. It's going to take, your body will say, We need about 20% of fat from your body to heal these muscles. And it will take 20% evenly off from all over your body to heal that muscle. Demetrius said bulk versus endurance dictates what type of workout. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I'm shaking. I can't lift pus or pull no more. We can like when you eat clean, that's another thing. That food will repair your muscles. So you might like Demetrius, you actually be looking into the properties of food. So like you could find out what certain foods do a lot for muscles. And that's the one you eat the most. You know what I'm saying? And ain't gonna be no animal at all. You don't need that, but it's gonna be something that come out the ground that you can eat that does something big for muscles. I can't think of some on the top of my head, but even like I said, even if you start off, the first time I started lifting weights, I had bought me a bench. I bought me a Olympic size bar, which weighed 45 pounds. I didn't know that, and I had me some little weights that I could put on the edge, and I put it in one of my spare bedrooms, and I would go in there every day. And I'm telling you, the first workouts were 15 minutes. That's all I could take. That's all I could take. And I was nervous because I didn't want to be He-Man or Hulk neither. As y'all see my neck, I have weight on me, but I told y'all why, my thyroid condition. But I don't have no hump or I don't got that shit. And and I wanted to bring up steroids because I want to say there's good and bad steroids. Steroids is a beautiful drug. It gets a bad rep because a lot of people in sporting events or teams, they engage in taking the bad steroids. Steroids of any kind, is the whole goal is to put your body in a position to be growing, to put your body in puberty, in other words. And because that is the best time of your life where you not only create muscles, whether you wanted to or not, you also heal from things very fast. If you think about when you was young, the younger you are, the better your growth hormone is working in you. But eventually we all get to a point, probably in our early 20s, when it's like no more. Brain development don't even stop until the age of 26. That soft spot you had in the top of your head when you was a baby, you might not think you still got it, but you do. It don't stop till you 26. That's why, especially those of you who 26 and younger should not engage in cigarette smoking, drinking, damn sure weed, none of that. You shouldn't. Demetri said sweet potatoes, and spinach and beans. There you have it. There you have it. That's going to help you with muscle. So for you, my friend, you might want to have a sweet potato as a part of your daily regimen. You probably want to do that, or at least every other day. I can eat beans all the time. They're easy to cook and they fulfilling. Now think about this: beans and rice. That is a vegan meal. Spinach, you can make salads with that. You can make a salad, spinach, and then make sweet potatoes. I told you guys, if you want to eat you a sweet potato with all the trimmings, but you can't put that, once you put that sugar and all that butter and all that stuff in it, it is what it is. But let's say you be like, it's just one baked potato or sweet potato, and you put like a little slice of a stick of butter. Like you take a little slice and you put it in there, just to give it, just to wet it up a little bit, right? Nobody's mad at that. But how we gonna sweeten it? I told you, agave. You can't use, when it's real sugar, you gotta be careful. You can't be heavy-handed with the sugar because real sugar is highly sweet. And I'm gonna tell you, you'll fuck your whole meal up trying to sweeten something if you heavy-handed with the sugar. Like people be heavy-handed with salt. Um, what's another one? Honey. Preferably get the honey sold on the street because that's your local area. It's going to help you with your allergies and all that good stuff, which all of us, in whatever kind of way or another, we suffer from allergies. Some are more severe than others. I'm like on that severe level. So the honey sold in the store, um, it was made by bees that's not in your local area, and you want the bees, honey, that's made from your local areas. That's why you should buy it from a beekeeper that's closely live close to you. Everybody has that. And there's a beekeeper somewhere everywhere. Bees are very important for our ecosystem and this earth, period. Without bees, you might as well say all life will stop to exist. So don't be fucking with these bees out there. I wish I'd have known this as a kid. You know what turned me on to learning more about it? Because I'm a geek, y'all. I look at a movie, I look at this, and I go read up on it. That bee movie that I had to watch with my kids, I went and started reading up on it and found out all that I found out. I got two bee, well, I call them bee trees, but look, they were not trees when I bought the house, and then they kind of like little trees on in of both sides of my house. And bees love this tree for some reason. But the one end is like near where my driveway, and the other end is on the middle part before the next house. And so, of course, my door is in the middle of the house. So when I pull up, I just get out my car and go straight to the middle. Like especially during bee, what I call bee season, the spring, whatever, when the pollen is out, I don't fuck with them, and I don't have nobody mess with those trees because I know how important it is. And it took a cartoon movie for me to understand that. And I never knew that beforehand. Never. But I was like, what? You know? So yeah, bees are important. Get your honey from that. And the piece of the resistance that is just such a good nugget for all of us. Take marshmallow. It doesn't hurt you. Has no calories, has no nutritional value. You're not gonna OD on it. Make you your sweet potato souffle. In fact, I'm making one today, and I hope I make it right. Make a sweet potato souffle, and I will put some marshmallows in there. I'm gonna buy me a bag of little marshmallows because I want to put a whole lot in there because I want to make sure it cover the whole thing. And voila, I'm gonna be happy because I love sweet potato, but I have to be careful on how much I eat now. And that drink you suggested, Demetria, it's an acquired taste. It's only acquired because I only eat sweet potatoes once a year. That's usually around the month of November, Thanksgiving, or maybe even Christmas um, time frame. And I'm used to eating it like I make it. Now I can make my yams. Whew, can't be making them shits no more. I can make it for other people, but goddamn, I haven't been. Look, I have been doing my journey of finding healthy you more hardcore than the slow walking that most of us who watch my show do. And it's crazy because I made yams for Thanksgiving this year, and it went bad in my refrigerator because my kids ate it, but they didn't eat a lot. They didn't grow up like I did. See, the yams would never last in my house, but I didn't eat it, and I think it's just because I'm not used to eating shit sweet like that no more. Oh, it was good. Matter of fact, my daughter made some this past. That's what it was. I made some December. She made it around Thanksgiving. She did good. I sat there with her, showed her how to do it. On a side note, new recipe I discovered today: head of red cabbage, place in the juicer, then place the contents in the blender. Add strawberries, red seedless grapes, blueberries. Yum. There you go. So you getting jiggy with it. You found your niche because you got the Vitamix, right? That Vitamix is expensive as hell. When he be saying blender, are you talking about the Vitamix, right? Because I don't want nobody to try to imitate your recipe or my recipes and be like, I put it in the blender too. Not regular blender. You're gonna need a strong blender. Because with my Vitamix, I can make it as thin or thick as I want. I can make ice cream. That's why I got it. Yep, Vitamix. Yep. In case y'all don't know how much Vitamix costs, $500. Start right there. And worth every penny. So don't think you getting played. Said Juicer Nama J2. I never heard of them. I have one of them popular blend. I have no, I just had to buy another one. I had one that did two different things because your juicer can do like regular juice and you can do two different things. You want a juicer that when you juice your stuff, that the pulp that it creates is not really wet. That's what you want. So when I juice and the pulp or the fiber that comes out on the side of my carrots, it's my carrots are thick as hell. I could take that pulp or what do they call it? I forget the name. I don't. I'm going blank today, but I could take that pulp and then go bury it backyard, and I would have started a garden. But that's what you want. You want your pulp not to be um like wet. The wetter it is, the worse the juicer is. The drier the pulp is, the better you have a juicer. And I got a $600 juicer, and I've been through so many juicers throughout these years, and I never even knew about juicing in my 30s or 40. I mean my 30s and 20s, never knew. So I started in my 40s, and like I said, I got a $600 juicer. I don't even know if I know how to work it, but it makes your juice so thin. Is thinner than water. Only thing I don't like about it is that it takes too long to juice. And the mouth of that juicer ain't big. So if they made that same juicer with a wider mouth, oh my God, that's the one I'll be using because it has gears. They look like gears and they connect and they grind up. You got those type of juice, then you got the blade type cut. And there's a difference. I get the ones that I think it started with the M. The word is master size, master something, masticate or something. I don't know, but I had a cold fusion and masticating juicer, like one to do two things, and then that broke. I broke it by using it so much. And you'll know when it's time to get a new juicer because every time I've gotten a new juicer is because when I go in there and juice and then it starts stinking like something burnt. And then you be like, okay, that's just the smell of the gears or the blade or whatever. And you try to drink the liquid and it has a burnt taste. So I'm done with it. Now I can't. But each of my juices that I use on a regular are $400 at least. But they worth every penny. Masticating juicer better than the centrifugal juicer. Look, I'm proud of you, Demetri. Are you ready to call in, or you say you're gonna call in one day? Let me know some stuff. Cause Demetri then came up with some recipes and everything. You gonna call in, or we'll put the link in the chat. Don't be afraid to come through. You have your avatar up. Uh, Teach us some things. He's right, masticating and centrifugal. Yeah, my juicer I had before did both. This one I got now, I think it's just masticating, which I love. Like I said, I love it. I have a big circle thing, and it just pulverizes the stuff. And most of my pulp that come out on the other side is dry, even when I juice pineapples, and they're the hardest to juice. So we was talking about steroids, right? Real quick, the condition I have causes the doctors to put me on steroids. That's my goal this year, not to have outbreaks, and I can't control that. But I'm gonna try to do better, staying in the house, not really going a lot of places for the next 3 months, and see what that do for me. Because normally this is around the time where everything all hell breaks loose. I don't do good in the spring, well, the winter, the spring. I don't do good in no season, but my worst is winter and spring. So when I get sick the most, and then the summer be like kind of linger over from the spring because it's the pollen, the growing of shit that really in it. it be having me in precarious situations where it could be fatal because I just told y'all my tongue got swelling yesterday for nothing. I ain't eat nothing no different. I ain't do nothing no different. Nothing. My tongue got the swelling, and it didn't travel with it though. The day before that, my hand was swollen. The bottom part of my hand right here, it was hurting like hell. But there's no joints and no bones right there, so I powered through it, you know. But and like I told y'all, anything from your neck and above, I have to go to the ER because then I'm playing with my life at that point. And they pump me up with steroids. So steroids can be a great, beautiful medicine. I don't want y'all to think negatively about steroids. But then there are steroids that athletes try to take where they cheating because it puts you in a youth position where your growth hormones are flipped back on, and when they're not supposed to be flipped on, that ain't a good thing. And so women, if you scared about lifting weights, you don't have to be scared because that tutorial or whatever I just spoke on about the lifting of the weights, guess what? It doesn't do nothing to you. You have to be on that bad type of steroids for your body to morph into something that's unladylike. Trust me, I wouldn't tell you to go lift weights if that was the case. And men nowadays, they like a strong, cut up woman. Don't y'all like women to be cut up? I don't know no man, I don't know any that can't appreciate a nice muscle tone on a female. Like she got muscles in her legs, muscle in her stomach, muscle everywhere they have, but it's just not like them. You have a range of how big you can get muscular, just like you have a range of how dark or light you can be. Like I can get darker, but to a certain point, I will never, no matter where I'm at, I ain't gonna get no darker than that point, whatever that point is. I can get lighter, but only to a certain range. I don't care if I set up on the North Pole, I'm not getting no lighter than the range that I have. Same thing with your muscles and women lifting weights. You can only get but so muscular, which it's gonna look really good on you, or real frail like, which is not gonna look good. And we lose most of our muscle tone starting around the age of 30, unlike men. So if you're gonna exercise, I'm real into strength training. Gotta learn how to carry your own weight or lift your own weight. Anybody want to chime in? Anybody? You can call in. We'll give y'all a second. Please smash that like button. If you're in there, smash the like button. I'm here for you. Anything? Demetri, you got some more recipes? Or just, jump on, Demetrius. I know I keep asking you, like, later, Miss T. Look, when you come on, you can have your avatar. Like, Miss T could do this. See that? Y'all don't know what I'm doing behind this picture. I'm still where I was sitting. Y'all know what I'm doing, but I'm here. You could do that. Remember how it was just white at first? It could be that way too. If you never made a picture, it's a little thing. If you hit the link, a little thing that has a start CAM. You click that button, and either a picture that you uploaded to it will appear, or no picture. But either way, you could be in, or you could call in. I don't give out no numbers. I never have. For people who keep calling me on times that I'm not on the show, you're not gonna get an answer because I'm not ignoring you, but you're not gonna get an answer. It's a YouTube number I use for the show. That's all it is. Said Miss T, do you believe in protein powder, plant-based versus animal-based? I do not believe in protein powder to a certain extent. Do I believe it can do what it say it can do? Yeah. Protein is cool, but I'm telling you, I had told the story before. You can get to it. your body is resilient. It's gonna give the good fight, but it ain't gonna do it forever. And I'm gonna give it on average. The average person should have about 20 solid years from when you're like 20 years old to 40, where your body just giving the good fight. But at that point, your body's gonna quit. So if you're eating protein when you're young, I tell you, we're not carnivores, we're herbivores, we're not apex predators and none of that shit. Supposed to be eating stuff that come out the ground. Um, this is another way you can know that that's true. When you get about 40, now to all my 30-year-olds and my 20-year-olds who feel like they got all the time in the world, the battle is going on. You just can't see it or feel it. But damage to you can be quicker than damage to the next person. Smash the like button, people. Smash that like button. So, protein, when you get older, you'll go to the doctor because this is when your health changes in your 40. It take a nosedive. I would submit or believe that everybody experiences this. You learn real quick when you're in your 40s. You are no longer invincible. This happens to everybody. What particular 40? I don't know. Mine's was mid 40s. Like I was 45, almost 46 when it happened to me. But some people could be like 40 years old. It depends on what you did with your body all your life. So what happened is you're gonna have to start going in for tests. They're gonna pull your blood, this, that, and the other, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? You have a deficiency of protein. And you be like, what the hell you talking about? I eat eggs, I eat meat, I be throwing down. What are you speaking about? Because you don't know what you talking about on that one. And they be like, yeah, you don't have enough protein. You be like, impossible. And then it just so happened that I didn't get just that bad news. She was talking like my cholesterol was bad. I already had a lot of medical issues that I just couldn't deal with, and I didn't need nothing else on my plate. So when she was just telling me all the other things that people in their 40s need to be careful of, plus along with your blood pressure, I was like, something just clicked in my head. Stop eating meat. Now, when I say God told me, I don't know. Somebody said it. I don't know if it came in a dream, but some just said stop eating meat and just eat food out the ground. And that's what I did. I just stopped just like that. Stop eating meat. That was like in the August, I forgot what year. And then I kept eating chicken though. I'm Negro. I can't help it. I can't help but eat that yard bird. I kept eating chicken. And then I saw so many benefits from just cutting off all the meat, the pork, the what was the other meat I was eating? Any kind of meat. I don't even know what meat I was eating no more. I don't even know how many meats out there I was eating, to be honest. I don't eat none of them shits no more. If I even try to eat pork, I'll get a fucking headache, an extreme migraine where I can't even open my eyes. I don't even mess with that shit no more. I have no desire. I can still eat chicken though, because when I do cheat on my juicing, that's exactly the meat that I eat. And I always eat chicken. Chicken wings, my go-to. Flats, that is. And so I just stopped eating meat. And then that was November when I had to go back and be tested. And she was like, I don't know what you did, but your protein is so much better. Like it was getting, because you listen, y'all don't want to start having protein problems. You walking down that aisle, you walk into a stroke and heart attack. That's the aisle you walking on, the stroke and heart attack. When you fucking with your protein, magnesium, and potassium, stroke, heart attack. Because you need your amino acids, you need your lipids. All of this shit is aiding in ATP that help you create your cells and this, that, and that. We don't need to go in depth, but you need your protein. So I did a 180. I corrected my cholesterol and all the other blood work stuff that, she can do a test, the A1C, all that shit in from August to November, just by stop eating meat. And because I was eating spinach and kale and shit like that, guess what? My protein levels went back to normal. My magnesium levels were back to normal. My potassium level was back to normal. Now I know Demetrius asked me about protein powder. Is it really protein? Did they make it from spinach, kale, and other fruits? No, not probably. And here's the other thing with powder based type shit in them supplements, whether they pills or the powder. The powder has sugar in it. It's not on the label. And remember, the whole point of stop eating certain things is the processed food, and it's necessary for the sugar that they have in it to have it. So I don't want to beat them up like they the bad guy, but in order for you to have food on the shelves, and you're gonna have to have preservatives in it, and those preservatives have sugar that your body don't like. Now, all I can tell you is if you're a person who still want to eat like that, that's cool. But you got to recognize what your body like and what it don't. It's not fair, but it is what it is. It's not fair. I'm sure a person who wear glasses every day because they can't see without them is saying it's not fair. I got to wear glasses all the time. Or a person who got to do a hearing aid. Shit, life ain't fair. Sometimes we get good nuggets and sometimes we don't. But that's the nugget you are dealt with. You're meant to wear glasses. You're meant to wear a hearing aid or whatever the case. So you're meant to have autoimmune disorders. So all you got to know is what ails you and then do corrective measures. When you know better, you do better. But protein powder is going to have a lot of sugars. That's a long answer, Demetrius, but it's an important one because I need people in their 20s and 30s to know that's where you're headed. And it's going to hit you. And I ain't met a person yet that can be Father Time on that one. So the protein powder is going to have sugars in it. That's why you don't want to deal with it. It ain't doing no justice. You might as well just stick to the stuff you was eating out the ground. The pills when they have fillers, when they make a pill, they're not gonna just take the grape and say like let's say they want those phentermine pills. Who's to say they're not making it from grape extract or some kind of grape? Because we know out of all the foods, the basic foods that we all know about, we know that grapes are the best appetite suppressants. You got people that go and get shots, they go get pills, they do all that shit to suppress their appetite when they can do it easily with grapes and have no side effects. But in order to make that pill, it has to have sugars. The sugars are the fillers, the preservatives. Pills have that problem too. Even your medication that you have to take, like my blood pressure medicine, has fillers. And it's those fillers that's fucking me up. So no matter how much I stay inside and stay away from folks, so I don't have to be put on those steroids because I done had an allergic reaction. I'm gonna have allergic reaction regardless because of those fucking pills. Because they got fillers in them. So the best thing I can do is to just stay as healthy as I can, keep wearing my mask. I've gotten all my shots. I'm up to date. And stay away from people. I'm surviving. It ain't bothering me that can't nobody just come up in my house. I'm done with that shit anyway. My kids are grown. So I don't have a lot of guests and I'm cool with that shit. Um I find enjoyment either way. I can make myself be enjoyed um in any kind of way, like programs or watching TV, the social media. Also, if I want to go play bingo, I'm into bingo now. Shit, I roll up on there, I have my mask, play my bingo with me. I won $1,000 one time in bingo. Shit, I ain't mad at bingo. I paid $50 to get in. They have bingo damn near every night on the base over here. That's something good to get into. So um yeah, you just protein is better if it came out the ground, Demetrius. You can get them in beans. Beans has a lot of protein. And if you eat any kind of potato, it's the same as taking a multivitamin. No side effects though. And potatoes actually have B vitamins. They're the one food that you can find out there when you can find some B vitamins. B vitamins, in case y'all didn't know, have a lot to do with metabolism, metabolism type shit like B6, biotin, like hair growth, nails. Yeah, it's a good vitamin, or should I say hormone? But you don't find them in most foods, but a potato, that's the one. So you should have a potato in your life every day. You can eat a white potato one day and a sweet potato the next day. I know I could take one regular size white potato and make a meal for me and just my daughter. I could do it. We do it all the time and be full too. It'll fill us the fuck up. And I mean, I put green, red, yellow, and orange peppers, and I slice them real thin. And of course, I don't have all them seeds, but I slice them real thin. I cook in olive oil, something I learned when I lived overseas because everybody overseas cook in olive oil. United States, here we are with the Crisco. Yes, Crisco tastes better, and the vegetable oils and all that shit. And it tastes better, but it don't like you. That's my favorite thing to say. It don't like you though. But olive oil, especially virgin olive oil, which I think that's how they come, it ain't gonna do much damage to you. And it's a good replacement for vegetable oils and all that. So you slice up your potatoes real thin, paper thin, with skin on it, and then you cook it. You do it with a sweet potato, and you cook it, and you have those peppers and all this stuff, and you can add as many vegetables or whatever you want. I take those peppers and I put them in my rice. Mm. And most sauces are not bad. You want to know how you could tell a sauce has a lot of sugar in it that you don't need? Have you ever barbecued your food? Like if you do eat meat and you put your little barbecue sauce on it or whatever type of sauce and it seems like it charred the meat, that's sugar. That's what happens with sugar burn. Some of you who are great cooks know that. But to the people like me who didn't know nothing about barbecuing, or learn later in life. You got people, I didn't learn how to cook till I was in my 30s. So, but you got people who don't know how to cook. I'm just letting you know that when shit burn like that, it's sugar. Even in the oven, when you baking something, you got something over top of it, and it come out with a little char or seem like it's burnt just a little, but you still eat it. You know how we still eat that burnt piece or whatever. Like if we make chicken and some parts of the chicken a little burnt looking, we still eat it because it's not really burnt. It's the sugar in the topping that you put on. So stuff like ketchup has a lot of sugar. You don't want to eat ketchup without sugar. It ain't gonna taste good. You damn sure don't want to eat ketchup with no salt. When I tell you nasty as hell, there's a lot of shit that you eat that come from the grocery store, even out the ground that has a lot of salt in it. You don't even know. So to the people that's adding salt and adding salt, it's because your taste buds are probably deadened or dull, and they need to be woken back up. And how they gonna wake back up is when you start eating clean, because eventually everything wake up. Eating clean could change your eye color. Some people walking around with darker color eyes than they should have because of the food they eat. Food is thy medicine. What you eat is what you are. You are what you eat. So that's about it. Any other questions? Any other questions? That's a good one, Demetrius. Look, for real, I'm so happy that you getting into that. Like, yeah, but the protein powder, you don't need it. Animal based, you don't need it. You don't need it. If you are able to get rid of eating flesh, do that, please. That is the ideal way. It is the way we are designed. We really don't gain nothing by eating that. But if you're going to eat flesh, then eat a yard bird, which is a chicken or a turkey, some kind of bird, tuna fish, crab legs, maybe shrimp. Shrimp to me are the roaches of the sea, but some people like that shit. I don't like shrimp. I barely like crab legs. But there you have it. There you got some meat. Don't go beyond that, because beyond that, you're pretty much asking for trouble. You are really asking for trouble, especially red meat. Hate to say it. You may love it. I like a steak too, especially ribeye, but it don't like me. So you're going to have to choose. Now, when I was 10, 15, 20, maybe even in my 30s, I could do what the fuck I want to do, right? I'm young. It don't stay like that forever. Once you get in your 40s, that life is over. And so we just have to accept it and move on. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna end it there because after all, it is football. I wanted to try to do it in an hour, but there was some interesting stuff. Thank you, Demetrius, for dropping some nuggets on us every time you come in. My day one. That's my A spoon coon right there. And so keep doing what you're doing, Demetrius. And everybody keep doing what they do. As to the people who have emailed me in the past, look, I'm here. I'm so anxious. Thank you for your response. And if y'all haven't updated me, go ahead and update me in the email. Again, as I say, I will always push for you to give your testimony, but it's when you want to do it. It really is up to you. But I need to hear the stuff because it helps me tweak stuff. It helps me understand and be like, hey, I'm doing everything. Dimitri in the building. What's Poppy Queen? She said, hey, Dimitri, we come on at 1 o'clock every Sunday. It's just a wellness show. With my boxing show, 1 o'clock every Sunday. We had a nice little talk. You are more than welcome to look at the replay of it. But I so wish that you came in earlier. But if you have any questions or anything to add, you can beam in. I dropped the link in the chat. I'll wait here for you if you have anything that you wanted to talk about. That's my shipmate right there. So I put the link in the chat. The phone is open 706-804-4449. But I just wanted to let you know that that's what time we come on. Hit the smash the like button, y'all. Smash the like button and subscribe if you never have done so before. But we had some good little nuggets dropped today. 706-804-4449, 706-804-4449. She said, no, I will catch you next week. I feel you, Queen. But yeah, check the replay out, Demetri. It's pretty good. I try to be short because football, but sometimes you just get into it. And I think it's better like this because I pretty much talked about, and if y'all go back and see this symbol, that's the symbol you see when you look at my thumbnails. You'll see starting back like mid-October forward, I've done a show to talk about all the strategic parts of the body. I've put out there, if you're interested in just losing weight, holler at me, Boxing Fans Talk at gmail.com. But I'm not going to approach it the way you think I'm going to approach it. Mine's have nothing to do with exercise, too. If you're trying to clean out your system, which that's the biggest thing we do, is clean out our system and detox our system. And then we go through a phase 2, which we're reintroduced one by one. Now that phase 2 could be the longest phase of all three of them because we have to reintroduce things that you want to continue to eat or put in your foods one by one, and we have to physically watch, like really be on top of what it does to us. Even if it's something like ketchup, if you start scratching right after you put ketchup on your food, that's a problem. That's a hint and a half. Ketchup don't like you, so you got to stop liking shit that don't like you. So ketchup out, that can't go on. You have to figure out another way to eat it or learn how to make ketchup from scratch. It's possible. Then we go through phase 3 when we're like, okay, this is the stuff we're going to eat. This is our lifestyle for the rest of our life. And then we recreate recipes and menus. And you go, some people do more and go further, whatever. But I help people with dialysis, diabetes, autoimmune disorder, and it's over like 80 autoimmune disorders. Um, I help people who have heart conditions and stuff like that, lung problems, this, that, and the other. And a lot of people like, well, Miss T, don't you do it too? Yeah, I'm hardcore with it. But the problem with Miss T, this y'all should feel so lucky is Miss T, the damage was done to me and I didn't know it. Nobody told me. The whole time in the military, nobody told me what was wrong. Had they told me, I could have better prepared myself or did something to fix it. Nobody ever told me. I was just as clueless as everybody else. Tired, lethargic, forgetful, gaining weight like crazy, lose weight. So that I had no control of my body. Was getting sick. And the older I got, it was worse. It could turn to fatal shit. Nobody told me shit. Nothing. Until I got fed up and decided that I want to learn. And so now I know. But I could do a whole lot of stuff that I couldn't even do when I was active duty military. So you said me too? Yeah. And look, we was in the same branch, y'all. We both were in the Navy. That's how they be. They ain't tell me shit. They let me go around thinking something like maybe I was lazy, maybe I was tired, because I would get tired so quick. They just let me think that. I was breaking out in rashes everywhere. Why? Oh, you just got eczema. What could you tell me at least that eczema is an autoimmune disorder? And basically, I have an overactive immune system. Could you tell me that? Can I know that? Do I have a right to know that? Or should I suffer with this shit for the rest of my life, never knowing it? And when I tell you eczema, I know all of us in here have known somebody with eczema or some kind of skin disorder. That shit is debilitating. That shit, if you a kid, I've watched kids don't want to play. What kid don't want to play? Because that eczema bothering them. I was that kid one time. I watch people wear thick ass sweatpants and sweatshirt in dead of summer, 100 degrees outside, because your skin hurt that bad and you can't let the sun hit it. Although the sun is the cure. Oh, they don't tell you nothing. You have to learn all this shit. The only good thing about having an overactive immune system, and that's one of my autoimmune disorders, is that it'll explain. Full disclosure, it will explain why a sister girl never caught none. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I was young, I was in it to win it. I done did a lot of oops in my life, and nothing ever happened. The handful of boyfriends I had, I shouldn't have had because they weren't no good for me. But the point is, they ain't never leave no package with me. Now, I don't know what the fuck they did when we was done with each other. But they ain't never leave nothing with me, if you know what I mean. Never have I ever. And that could be due to having an overactive immune system because my shit is severe. So when I don't be worried about a lot of times, I don't tempt fate. And that's something I don't do. But I don't worry about a lot of time. You said laugh out loud. It's true. I don't worry about catching nothing. None of that shit. I never do. I don't catch the flus. I don't catch none of that shit. I've had pneumonia before, as an adult, and I've had I think it was walking pneumonia when in my 20s. I didn't even know I had it. I got over it so fucking fast. I didn't like I said, I didn't even know I had it till the tail end of it. I've had some kind of flu or something when I was 9. I remember dropping, I used to weigh, I want to say 60 something pounds at 9 years old. But I remember dropping to about 49, 48 pounds. And I remember I had these, my taste buds. Like if you put your tongue out, you'll see a taste buds. But you don't. Like the naked eye, you don't really see. You have to really look for it. But whatever this was that I had, my taste buds was seen. Like if I'm sitting here and the camera is the mirror, like I could just stick my tongue. There was 3 white ones that was big as hell. I don't know what they told my mom. I was 9 She made me get in a hot ass tub. She not only did she pour the hot water on, or turn the hot water on, but she was boiling water and pouring it in them shits. And she was making me drink a lot of milk. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. But oh my God, it was the worst. I lost so much goddamn weight. I was so teeny. And so that's 2 times that I caught some. In 2018, when I went to New York, I came down with something. And to this day, I be thinking it was the COVID because I was sick for a long time. Because my daughter graduated high school in 2019. And I couldn't even scream her name at the high school. I was like, "Great," I just couldn't do it. Everybody with me was screaming. I could barely. Well, I would be out of breath. But I thought it was a cold, so I handled it like a cold. And they kept telling me it's some kind of respiratory problem. That's what they told me. Oh my, all them symptoms they be talking about they had. That's what I had. And I remember everybody in my household had that in 2018. My nephew and my daughter caught it earlier that year. I was in New York, so I must pick it up there. I don't know. But to this day in my head, that was COVID. I'm fully vaccinated and the booster now. But when y'all be like, "Well, Miss T, if you don't get sick, if you don't catch nothing, then why are you always sick?" When you have an autoimmune disorder, and Dimitri can tell you, your body attacks itself. And there's a list of 80 type of ailments or disorders that you can have if you have an autoimmune disorder. And none of them good, like rheumatoid arthritis, alopecia, overactive immune system. I also have hyperthyroidism. Everything I just named, I got, except the alopecia, hypothyroidism, which is not good. This is why my weight gain. Like, I'm not responsible for it. I can gain weight when I'm eating clean. I do drop weight, but shit, I mean, I it's hit or miss. I can't predict it, but I know it works. So I know what it does for people who don't have my problem. Like, I had to get my thyroid removed. I had cancer in that. Just what could happen happens. But that's all. Nothing of that is contagious. It's with me, what I am doing to myself. And I know that I could probably never be a good candidate for any kind of transplant for nobody. I know for nobody. My shit is all damaged in there. They not giving my shit away. But I can't take nobody else up if I can't even take my own shit. Because that's what my body do. It attacks me. Girl, I think I caught that shot in February of 2020. I was sick as hell. Yeah, I think a lot of people caught that. And don't even know it because that shit, it was like, so we talking October to June. I was still sick, but I somehow went to my daughter's commissioning. My son, I call him my son, but it's my brother's brother, my daughter's brother, mom's commissioning. We flew to Mississippi. Then we had to fly back, and then we went to Virginia for my nephew's graduation. It was like boom, boom, boom. But before we went to Virginia, I spent a week in the hospital, and I broke myself out. I thought I was going crazy. I thought they was gonna kill me. I was delirious. I was sick as shit. I could barely walk, and I said to myself, "If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die at home." All of this in 2019. I'm telling y'all, it was a roller coaster. So that's why I say, if you guys want help getting healthy, finding the health in you, you always see, I see that I put the apple up. I figure out a way to put it up behind me. Ain't that something? But thanks to my green screen and all the money y'all donate go right back into the channels, the tripods, the green screens, the mixer, the sound cards, all that. But yeah, so that's what motivates me to do this every week in case anybody just joined us. But please hit the like button, smash that mug. I used to say do it for me for Christmas. That's all I want. Now I'm gonna just say do it. God damn it, do it. Smash the like button. It ain't that hard. And hit the subscribe button if you never have. I come on every week on Sunday at 1 p.m. We are in that stage that we do repeat. I answer questions. There's so many questions that I get. I can sit here and do a whole show on just questions. I actually didn't do a lot of topics today, but it was a lot of questions. So that's what we did. And again, if you guys want to hear me talk about like the pancreas and what it does, the liver and what it does, your digestive tract and what it does, or your stomach, or different things, your thyroid and what it does, what's reverse T3, what's T2, what do the significance of the number 3 means, and all that stuff. That's right, Miss D. Click like and share. If you want to know about all those things, go back and watch my shows. Some people it'll be probably boring. I get that, because when you don't have problems, you don't think about shit like this. I'm an advocate now that they should teach human body functions in school, some form of anatomy, and they should teach it all the way up through high school. You should also bring back civics. And we got a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there that don't know how that country work. Hate to say it like that, but dumb is a choice. It's not something you born with. It's a choice. But y'all need to get smart on that. Like it pains me to talk to people who don't even know how the government work that they live in. But anywho, so when you know better, you do better. Thank y'all for joining me today. And anytime that y'all want to chime in, you can do it in the chat, like some of y'all doing, or you can beam in by clicking the link, and you can have your avatar like I just did just now. You see that? Y'all don't see me. I could be over here picking my nose and whatnot and doing whatever. Here I am again. It's just a button, and you'll have that same option too if you beam in, or you can call in. I do not share nobody numbers. For the people who keep calling me I call it after hours when I'm not online. Y'all gotta stop, because I'm not gonna answer the phone, and I'm not sure why you calling me. And your messages that I don't even know you calling me. You calling me in the middle of the night. So hopefully it's a missed call, but I'm not gonna answer that. And my boxing show comes Monday through Friday, and Grown Woman Talk is on Friday, and that starts like 30 minutes or so after I start the boxing show. But Monday through Friday, I dedicate to boxing or other sports. We're gonna start getting into the MMA stuff tomorrow. I think we're gonna be talking about MMA as well, and whatever boxing news. It was a good fight this weekend too. I hope y'all caught it. But anywho, when you know better, you do better. Let me get out of here, because I could put something else on the Barbie. I don't want to do that to y'all. But watch the replay if you've never seen it, to my Facebook. A shout out to you. Thank you for watching. Come into the channel, hit like and subscribe, engage. We can all learn some stuff, But I told y'all my goals. Next week, I want to hear what y'all goals are and what y'all trying to do. And if I can help in any way by developing a recipe for you or putting you on the program where you definitely gonna get the results that you want. Yes, I do take people who ask about weight loss. I just approach it differently. You can email me at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. You will have a better success than I ever will, because I got to the point in my life where the damage was done. You might not be there because you have all your organs. And shout outs to you for that. But anywho, when you know better, you do better. Peace.